2018, a crack YouTube unit was sent to social media prison by an algorithm for the crime they didn't commit. These producers promptly escaped from maximum security social media stockade to the internet underground. Today, still wanted by social media, they survive as producers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the smAsh team.
Hold! And welcome to the Space Weather. Looking at the 171 angstroms view here, we see a little bit of activity kicking up here north of the equator, as well as right near the equator, and a little bit of activity south of the equator also. Some filaments on the eastern limb as well as the western limb, associated with this plage, especially down here. So a little uptick in solar activity, a small uptick in the X-ray flux also. Here are some close-ups. If you have a message for the local yellow dwarf, please leave it now, as we are going to be speeding through this video like maniacs. Here's a 94 angstrom view, courtesy of NASA's SDO, the Solar Dynamics Observatory. Check it out, it's in the links below the description if you'd like to check it out on your own. Don't take our word for it. That's what's going on the local star. And thanks for tuning in, new subscribers. There are those little upticks in the X-ray flux we were talking about, and let's get through a bunch more data at a recklessly breakneck speed. Phi angle currently at 133 degrees. Solar wind density 2.16 protons per cubic centimeter. That's a density, folks. 456 kilometers a second is the solar wind speed. We did just recently see a couple spikes here. There was a recent spike coming in, perturbing the magnetosphere. We'll show you what we're talking about in a moment. There's the ACE data looking corroborative. And here's the pressure, which, by the way, is massively offset to the dawn side. If you look at the equatorial plane view, massively offset right there. And there's that sudden spike in the pressure, coming in around 720 or so, maybe 715, something like that. I'll let that play through a second time. It was a density spike, and it is reflected very minorly in the solar wind density. Here comes a giant magnetic spike. Here's 7 o'clock. It was actually right just at 7 o'clock. And we see major current induced on the planet as a result. Let me bring that back to where it was. And you can see that meter's clearly off the scale there. It only goes up to 1.5 nanopascals. And we do see a lot of induced current apparently producing massive ground magnetic perturbations, despite it being a fairly small density spike. So a highly magnetically based situation there. And you can see the obvious dual poles in the north. And I'm starting to think I'm seeing dual poles in the south. I didn't say anything about it for months, folks, but it's looking like 2 poles in the south also, in all honesty. Let me just rock it back on this big spike here, which came in right at the same time that we see it in the space views, indicating magnetic activity. Anyway, there is the situation. We see quite a bit of a hit over the Canadian pole, the Siberian pole, and the net in the north. And we see 2 spots and the net being hit in the south as well. So it looks like there's 2 net poles, and it looks like 4 poles to me. Please leave a comment if you'd like us to go to Antarctica and put some magnetometers there. Yes, I'm willing to do it. Don't forget to join us in Electric View today. We'll be talking about the heliosphere. Now we're looking at the magnetosphere here, and it's just an artist's rendition, folks. Don't freak out. Let's get back to solar data. 10.7 centimeter radial flux remaining at 70. Magnetometer's looking pretty spiky here, although we're expecting this to be rather smooth, barring some unforeseen event. And speaking of unseen events, here's the magnetic environment. As reported by the Gong 2 system, which consists of about 50 magnetometers on Earth, by the way, as well as one on stereo B where my pointer is, and stereo A, which is behind the Earth orbitally, but ahead in terms of solar weather, which is why it's called stereo A. Stereo B is behind. It sees sunspots on the western limb of the sun that are setting, for instance. This data 2 hours old, solidly in the South Pole field. KP is just steady at 3. Nothing shown on that spike, and we're going to skip cosmic rays. You can monitor them yourself. Links are in the description to that also. GOES electron flux is a little bit higher than it was here, still in a normal range, expecting it to get higher over the next 2 days. Relativistic electrons are still in a moderate zone. We're not expecting big errors from GPSs. We are still seeing charging anomalies on the nighttime side in the South Pacific, as we've been seeing nighttime charging anomalies for several days. And again, we talked about how offset the geospace magnetosphere pressure appeared to be on the dawn side. So not particularly surprising there. And that's primarily in the southern hemisphere, folks. Here's the latest image. Let me click on that. There's the latest image. That's at 8:15 UT, and we're doing it early because we got to get through the video. Now, we did see one pretty significant earthquake here in the Aleutian Islands. It was over a 6 magnitude, starting with everything over a 4 magnitude. Let's go over the list of 24 hours. See a 4.4 in Iran. We see a 5.3 in Indonesia. That one is at depth, 131 kilometers. Next, we see one near the Philippines in Indonesia, actually, at a 6.1 magnitude, followed by a 5.1 aftershock. Here's a 4.5 aftershock as well. Here's a 5.2 magnitude quake off the coast of Chile, 5.7 south of Kamchatka, 4.8 at East Timor, and that one's at depth, 360 kilometers. Here's an Iranian quake, that one at 4.3 magnitude. A 4.6 in Nicaragua is next, that one coming in at 1556 UT. Here's a Papua New Guinea quake. Oh wait, actually that's right on New Zealand. Check it out. Right on the island. Please leave a comment if you felt that one. Kiwis. Oh, okay, it was in the Bay of Plenty. Let's hope it didn't do any damage to places like Wakatani. Wakatani? And we actually do have quite a lot of earthquakes on the list here, over a 4 magnitude. Let's get through it before we're old and gray. Here's a 4.4 at Barbuda. Barbuda? I never heard of Barbuda. Please leave a comment if you've heard of Barbuda. How about a 5.2 at Tonga? Is that fake news? Is that a fake island? 4.0 at Indonesia. That one's at 120 kilometers. 6.3 at Alaska. That one out in the Aleutian Islands. Let's hope that's not magmatic activity, as that is a big quake. The depth of that one's 25.1 kilometers. And we see a 4.2 aftershock. Tajikistan quake, another Middle Eastern quake there. 4.7, 4.9 at Mexico, followed by a 4.7 at Mexico, followed by a 4.8 at Mexico. Here's one at Indonesia, 4.3, 4.9 at Tonga is next. Another in the Easter Island region. That's the second one in 2 days, right in that same spot in the Pacific. 4.2 at Indonesia. That one at 150 kilometers. And lastly is a 4.0 in the Aleutians, but not in the same part of the Aleutians, closer to the mainland. 4.0 magnitude. We can't dwell on it. We got to keep moving on because there is a ton of stuff to cover. And it'll get more lighthearted by the end. By the end, I promise. Geez. No more of the Smash Team videos for this episode, though. Here's the pressure maps. This is windy.com. If you don't have their mobile app, it's free. Try it out. It's not glitchy. It works very well. There's where pressure is expected to be in 24 hours. Volcano rundown includes Mount Aso, Mount Sakurajima, those both 6,000 foot flight level. Mount Ibu, flight level 6,000. Sanjiang Api, flight level 6,000. Sanjiang Api. Did I just say Sanjiang Api? Yeah, 8,000. Dakono, flight level 7,000. Sangay, flight level 21,000 as it explodes. Sabancaya also exploding, 24,000 foot plume there. Novatos de Chilean, sporadic emissions. Don't fly over it in a home-built helicopter. In fact, perhaps don't even fly a home-built helicopter. Here's where stuff is in the solar system. And there's where things will be in a week. Milky Way galaxy team for the win. Here's where stuff is above my head. It's 3:31. Do you know where our constellations are? It's 2019. Do you know what the sun's doing? Now, this paper came out in 2013, authored by Dr. Pierre-Marie Robitaille, doctor of radiology from Ohio State University, talking about elemental lines of evidence that the sun is made of liquid metallic hydrogen and not a ball of plasma. Let me read a quote. The idea that the sun could synthesize helium was first proposed by men such as Gamow, Bethe, and von Weizsäcker and Hoyle. The PP reaction, where two protons combine to make a deuteron, while relying on positron and neutrino emission, would come to play a vital role. Helium synthesis within low-mass stars, for stars with a greater mass than the sun. In other words, the sun was crippled and stripped of its ability to make metals. And in cosmology, when we say metals, we mean everything more massive. Everything higher on the periodic chart than helium is considered a metal in cosmology. Links to the paper. The 40 lines of proof that the sun is made of liquid metallic hydrogen. Now let's talk about some other local stars, ones that aren't quite as local as that particular one. Today we're going to be talking about LaSalle 9352. Oh yeah, it appears in role-playing games, I guess, as it was difficult to find it. Here's the view from Simbad. Now this is the fourth highest proper motion star that we see from Earth. And we're not going to get into proper motion, but there's a good view of it, and we'll leave links to that below the video. It is a red dwarf. It's not visible with the naked eye. It's located 10.74 light years from Earth, or you could say from the sun. Its distance was measured using parallax, which is much more accurate than using things like redshift. All right. Anyway, links to all of this below the video, as well as this nice little map with a visual representation of where the local stars are. And let's move on to more current data. Here's where lightning's been striking, courtesy lightningmaps.org. And more interesting to me is the US Doppler radar, because I'm getting rained on. And I would like to know when this shall be complete. Now, I won't be going north today. Haha. I won't be going anywhere. I'm not admitting to going anywhere. It might not even happen, folks. All right. In any case, there's the situation in the tri-state region. Please leave a comment if you're viewing from New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey, Delaware, New York. Did I say New York? The Mid-Atlantic states. Leave a comment if you're viewing from the Mid-Atlantic states. Looks like there is some snow falling in the mountains of south central PA. By the way, the high point of Pennsylvania is out here. It's called Mount Davis. And we are getting hit with severe stuff right now, folks. Let's look at the water vapor. And the good news is it's going to be pushing this stuff out of here real quick. So there's the current situation over my head. As we're paving the way for some protons. There's going to be a lot of protons showing up pretty soon. And for that, we thank you. The wind should dry things out. And going to be some warmer temperatures rolling in, too, from what I hear. And according to the water vapor animation, I would tend to agree. All right, and we're stepping on the gas to get through the rest of this stuff here. Here's the full U.S. map, and there you have the water vapor scenario, as reported by the NASA GOES interactive weather satellites. We've got a convergence going on over Florida, but we don't have time to look at it, so go check it out yourself if you want to see it. Here's the eastern jet streams. Here are the jet streams over the western world. And you're going to hear stories in the news about how Greenland is melting. See all that warm air being injected? That's, yeah. Welcome to the That Is Censored and That Is a Sinkhole, the part of the video where we encourage our viewers to understand the distinction between their and a hole in the ground. Let's talk about good, fast, and cheap. See that area in the middle? All project managers know that that area does not exist. It's either going to be good and fast and expensive, or it's going to be fast and cheap and bad, or it's going to be good and cheap and take a long time. That's just the way it works, folks. So if your boss wants all three of these things to happen, just draw this Venn diagram for them and understand that this area in the middle does not exist. Shout out, project managers. Let's look at crypto real quick as it's incredibly low. Check it out. Let's look at Bitcoin as reported by Coinbase. Check it out. It's all the way down to $7,200, folks. Ouch. Could be a buying opportunity. Let's look at Coinbase Ethereum. Below $150. Wow. That is, what is that, a 6-month low? Nearly a 7-month low, folks. I might actually have to support my own position on this. Now, don't take that as investment advice. This graph is for novelty purposes only. Were you aware that Pennsylvania residents voted to eliminate school property taxes? Where's the follow-up, legislators? Are you in Pennsylvania? Ask your legislator. Are you any place? Ask your legislator. Why are you paying rent on properties that you own? Local governments should make exactly 0 property taxes, and they should run on a reasonable model and do reasonable things, not come over and measure your grass. Tell your local congressman. I'll be doing so, as taxpayer dollars are wasted on nonsense, and property owners are the ones who are paying for it. Let's talk about paying for more stuff. Google is paying for their stupidity. Smart Compose is now coming to Google Docs. What does that mean? Well, Google reads the body of your emails. If it didn't, how would it possibly do a Smart Compose feature for you? These are customized for you specifically. Stop using Google Junkware and get away from Google's AI, because it's artificial, but it's not particularly intelligent. Enough said on that. Let's talk about enemy territory. Now, I used to be pretty good at this, and I'm pretty garbage now. But anyway, this isn't actually my video here, so I fully produced this. And let me just play you a clip. This is me owning up a server here. This is just after getting 10 in a row. That was 10 in a row. Now I've gotten on the roof, revived my teammate, revived my other teammate, and then I push this guy off the ladder as I'm shooting him. And then I take out that guy and I hide behind the lamp so his buddy can't shoot me. And then I take out that guy too. You can see my name rolling in blue there. It's light blue, dark blue. That's my name tags. If you want to play this game, by the way, it's free. There's 15 in a row. Now I jump back up the ladder, and this guy gets, I think that's 6 headshots in a row. And I just barely survive. It's right at the end of the map here, and I almost die. But I'm able to throw a med kit right before I get taken out. If I would have landed here, I would have taken damage from falling had I not thrown the med kit. I had like 15 health. Anyway, perhaps check out Enemy Territory. It's free. It doesn't require a fast computer. You can play it on an old junky computer that runs Windows 98. But yeah, it's super fun. It's interactive. There's a vibrant community. We left links for you to download it here on CNET if you like. And we're going to be resurrecting some stuff like Skilled Fraternity, perhaps. Shout out people like Tom DePrinz, Diogo, Fonseca, Carrie Burke, Not a Jedi, Terror Time, all them dudes. Check it out. This is my tag here. I was the scrim leader of this clan when it existed. I haven't played for 9 days, and I'm garbage. But I'll be getting better and getting a new mouse. Links to that also below the video. And see, I told you, it's a vibrant community. I'm not kidding, folks. Right now, FA Recruiting, that's an American server, has 28 people in it. It's a 51-slot server. I mean, it's amazing. So I was just very happy to find out that that was still a thing. And probably be getting our own server for that. Were you aware that the government approved the extension of the Patriot Act to continue to spy on Americans for a few more months while everybody was so worried about impeachment? And because, you know, that's just the way the government does things. It sneaks things past, like the way it snuck the Federal Reserve past in 1913. Do you know about that? You know, on December 23rd, when capitalism went away. Anyway, links to that Zero Hedge article also. Let's talk about the top 15 foods ordered at DoorDash. Do you have Thanksgiving feast planned? Well, what are you going to be serving? We'll share some stuff in a bit, but for now, here's the top 15 most popular delivery items. Starting with chili, chicken BLT, cheesesteak, Greek salad, spring rolls, nachos, taco salad, spicy chicken wrap, chicken noodle soup, Cobb salad, bean burrito, make your own pizza, cheeseburger and french fries, chicken tacos, and burrito bowls. Now, I can make most of those things at home. What do you think? Are you going to add anything weird to your Thanksgiving? Hey, please support the channel if you like what we're doing. And check the links below the video to other links to other things, such as our mission and so on. We're not going to talk about it today. We're just going to provide one more bonus feature. And by the way, the image that we featured at the beginning was, you're looking down M87's jet there. And how about the good old-fashioned 304 angstroms view? You can see some filaments are also on the west there. A little bit of filaments snapping around on the east. Let's look at the north first. There's the North Pole view. North Pole coronal hole still looking pretty large and in charge, although not in charge of the current sheet that you're on. Please leave a comment if you're viewing from Lake Huron. Please leave a comment if you're aware that the Bermuda Triangle is not as statistically dangerous as the Great Lakes Triangle. Anyway, we're out. Enjoy your Sunday. Stare at the sun. Don't drink. If you drink, don't drive. And may the solar wind be at your back, and that atherosclerosis absent from your veins.